What's going on?
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing. So cold, behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts feeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. No, I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If you wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Dead Air Live on the Dead Air Full Spectrum channel. It is our Sunday night show. We are in a. What happened to me? I'm missing right now. Okay. we are sitting. We are sitting on a great opportunity tonight and a great guest going to be joining us, Dustin Pari, in just a few minutes here. But I want to ask you guys to please, at this point in time, hit that subscribe button. Also, the thumbs up. If you could possibly do that for me, that'd be great. That's an important part for our algorithm and a reminder bell for upcoming content. I'm so thrilled tonight to come to you from beautiful Florida. I wore the shirt tonight because we've had 3 weeks of the most amazing weather. If any of you are out there are amateur meteorologists, you're fascinated by weather, but there's been this, as if off the coast of Florida in the Atlantic, a hurricane, but it's invisible, and it keeps spinning counterclockwise. The clouds keep coming in, and this incredible breeze off the ocean for 3 weeks straight. The weather hasn't changed one bit. So I don't know whether or not it's spells. I don't know whether or not it's government, DARPA, but it's quite interesting that it has been this way in September, which is normally hotter. And right now, the guys up north are getting hotter temperatures than we are. So, nanny, nanny, boo boo. Thank you guys very much. Um, Ken is not here right now. He's decided to work on an experiment to find out where is the most expensive Uber in Rhode Island. He is succeeding wonderfully and going broke. So that's the important part again of you guys subscribing. We need the business in order to take care of his Uber costs. But we are thrilled to have our guest joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited for all of you to get a chance to meet him up close and personal. You know him from the TV shows Ghost Hunters International, Destination Truth. He is the paranormal rock star, and tonight we're going to delve into his very, very active mind. Please welcome Dustin Pari to the show. Dustin,
Thanks so much. I'll tell you. I'll tell you what, man. Active, I guess, is one way to put it. My brain's all kind of screwy, but I have a good time, and my friends inside my brain seem to enjoy it too. So we just keep going, and you never know what's going to happen next.
keeping busy as always, and geez, I think the first time, possibly the last time that we met is in Florida about 18 years ago. Was it the Don Cesar in Tampa?
Hmm. I don't recall. 18 years ago might have been a friggin' different lifetime for me at this point, man. I don't. It may have been. I know because I know I've been down St. Augie Way a couple of times. We did the big Taps Con down there. What the hell else? Yeah, I don't know, man. But it definitely was down there. Time frame sounds about right.
I think that it was because that was the one that Linda Blair was at.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was there. I was at a Linda Blair thing down there. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it had to be 18 years ago.
Awesome.
Wound up sitting. You remember the lobby had a bunch of tables in the lobby too, big water fountain,
Yes.
and we sat. I forget who was sitting there with us, but we sat and laughed our asses off for a
Yeah.
good hour, hour and a half. It was incredible. Uh,
Indeed.
you're
Just having
genuine.
fun.
Yeah, you're a genuine individual, very, very approachable, and I guess that kind of lends towards you being who you are as far as a social media. Yeah, I mean, you're ubiquitous. You're everywhere.
I try. I got to keep up with the times. You know how it is, man. You got to stay up there. All the things keep changing. All the streams keep changing. All the platforms keep changing. It's I mean, to be quite honest, it's a pain in the ass. I enjoy the interaction. I truly do. But trying to remember, like, oh, did I already post on this day? Did I post on that today? Like, I kind of feel like we've created too much of a virtual world that we're missing out in our real life. And there's sometimes I actually started to get angry with the phone. I'm like, okay, I'm done with this now. I'm going to go wander and do my own things. But I try to use the tools to help each other, help inspire people. Obviously, advertise the places I'm going to be, the things I'm doing, and just to get to know each other a little bit better. It can be a real dark place out there on the social media sites, but I try every day to put a little something positive out there, a little something fun. And yeah, I do enjoy it for that. It just when it feels like it's starting to be a task, when it's starting to be work, then that's when it's time to shut it down for the night.
A father, a husband, as it says on your Facebook page,
Yeah,
motivational speaker, spiritual researcher, lecturer,
yeah.
author, lover of God,
Hmm.
lover of pie.
Yes.
I would imagine it, the top ones up there have to be like apple pie, American apple pie.
It's in the top five. It's in the top five.
My point is all of those different hats that you wear,
Yeah.
and and yet you still take the time to get out there on social media to post with people. I mean, there's a lot, and you still look the same age as you did 18 years ago.
That's my vampire secrets. We don't talk
Wh-
about those, man.
Which
But
reminds me, yes, I'd like to go ahead and mention our sponsor tonight also. Our sponsor this evening is Vlad's Virgin Blood, keeping celebrities young for over 100 years.
yep. And there's Zaffis. I think he founded it. I think he's in on the top of the pyramid scheme. I'm
He
pretty
is. He is. He's.
sure. God bless him. I
I,
think Steve. I think Steve honestly looks the best. I feel like Steve Gonzalez has aged the least out of everybody because I definitely get some grays and some platinum highlights coming in here. But I think it's also because I elected to have a family and children, and Steve just has his cats, and cats don't talk back. Cats don't run up a bill. Cats don't surprise you with credit cards. So God bless him for that. But
I know, but trying to
he's
explain Zaffis
beautiful.
because Zaffis is nearing. I think he's 120 now, and he still looks the
I
same
think so.
after all this time.
He's amazing. He really is.
He's an
Still has the
enigma.
same clothes and everything. He is. Yes, sir.
Let's talk a little bit about who you are as far as the individual, Dustin Perry, because everybody only knows you for about 42 minutes on screen doing the
Right.
investigations, but there's so much more to you, obviously. There's, again, tell people about the motivational speaker part because I think that's an incredibly important part of what you do and how you influence people.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the most important part of what I do. It's by far the least lucrative, but it doesn't mean it's not without its reward. It's what I care most about. I have a day job. I've worked in healthcare for I think 24 years now. So that's the day job thing. We do the paranormal stuff on the weekends. I do my research at night on my own. But the motivational work came about because of a wonderful little thing called MySpace. back when people weren't so
Oh,
miserable online. Everybody was friends with Tom. We enjoyed each other on MySpace, you know.
yeah.
Um, but people would write to me, and at first it was questions about the show or how much they hated me and my visor and that kind of thing. But somewhere in there, people started to write to me about very serious things in their own personal lives, whether it was relationship issues or they hated their job or they lost a loved one, or things get very serious where people start writing to me about cutting or or the ideas of suicide. And I always was quick to point out, like, I'm not, I'm not somebody who's a trained counselor. I'm not a psychiatrist or anything, but I feel like we're all able to at least listen to each other. And so I could at least listen to people and try to point them in the right direction. And that started to become more and more of a regular thing. And I was like, well, I could still go out, maybe titrate some of my material and change my lectures a little bit and do more motivational things, which just means so much to me. And I started doing lectures for middle schools, and I've done lectures right up to corporate America now. I just did one last month for a financial investment firm down in Connecticut, and it means a lot to me to be able to get those opportunities to try to help people. And I do a little series every night on all the social media platforms. I go out and I post a little minute-long video called "Coming at You Live." I sing a little song. It takes about 7 seconds. Most people don't get by the seven
Wait, wait, wait,
seconds.
wait, wait. You have to do it for the show. You have to do it. It's on every one of your videos.
It is. It is. It goes a little something like this. Coming at you live like I do every night from the heart of the Phantom Zone. And then there's like 45 seconds of like some motivational thing that I came up with that day. And I put them out there. None of it's monetized. None of it's making me a damn dime. But I put it out there because I hope it may help somebody. And that was going to be worth more than any dollars you could put to it. So I love it when I'm doing an event and somebody comes up to the table and they sing the song. Like, it's just the stupidest thing, but it means something because I know that it resonates with them, that they enjoy it.
Take me through, and don't worry. Trust me. Everybody in the audience will get to the ghosts and the paranormal and all that. But we're really kind of getting the behind the scenes of Dustin. But talk to me about one of the most profound experiences you had as a motivational speaker, somebody who either responded back to you after hearing you speak or while you were speaking, that it made such an impact that you will never forget.
There was there's been a couple of people who I'm very thankful to say have come up to me, at a convention at a table. Usually when there's nobody else, around, they kind of wait and pick their moment, and they'll come up and talk to me about a message that I put out or something that I did for them. Like, um, I really feel like it's kind of sad in our society that people get mad when somebody talks about something good that they did because we instantly think that they're gloating. But at the same point, we can go online and talk about every miserable thing that we see and share all that negativity.
Yes.
But if somebody shares something positive, like, oh, you need to get a pat on the back for it. So I don't do that kind of stuff. But I've been known to send a lot of flowers to people in hospitals or make personal phone calls to people if I know they're really struggling with things. People reach out to me, and I'm happy to do it. And I don't do it to post about it. Um, but it'll be interesting because somebody will come up and tell me how much that meant to them. And a lot of times, I've honestly forgotten. And it doesn't mean that it didn't mean anything to me at the time, but something 10, 12 years ago, I don't have the best memory. I also suffer from a post-COVID issue, which the brain is a little bit wonky. But there's been one or two times where somebody has honestly come to me and, with tears in their eyes and given me a hug and said, I don't know if I'd still be here if it wasn't for this message that you sent to me that night. If you didn't take the time to reach out to me that night, I don't know if I'd still be here. And that's really heavy, and it means a lot to me. I know better than anybody else on this earth. I just try to inspire people, and I hope people just take the time to listen to each other, because we all have the ability to help each other through this life. And the first step is just listening to somebody else, not comparing your misery, not trying to one up their misery, not interjecting with your own story, allowing for the long, weird pause because you know that they're going to tell you something that's very important. And those moments are invaluable to me, and those are moments that I'll never forget.
Yeah. Cody, I think I have it isolated individually on stage, the motivational speaking as one of the videos in there. If you can throw it up, there's no sound, but there's been quite a few videos, and you've got young adults and that are coming up there that you're interacting with as well. Is being a father an important part of that interaction with that
Oh, for
level at
sure.
8?
For sure. It's funny talking to the kids are the things that frighten me the most because they can be very judgmental and they can be very harsh. But sometimes you'll notice like a young kid who is maybe struggling with something, and when they have that aha moment, when you say something to them that really resonates, they'll come up and talk afterwards. It's very, very special because, they are the future of our world, and so much of it, for me, so much of my motivational work comes down to thinking about the innocent little child that's still inside all of us. And I feel that unfortunately a lot of the kids today are sadly without the opportunities that people like us had growing up, in terms of not having to be bothered with social media, not having everything always being in the palm of your hand, and people like bullying. If somebody bullied you at school, by the time you get home, yeah, maybe it sucked for a little bit, but then you went and rode bikes with your friends, you built a fort, you played video games, whatever it was, you kind of forget about it. But now these kids go home, and there's something harsh written about them online, and people pig pile, people don't even know, tear them apart. And it's hard for adults to deal with that. Never mind for a kid. And it's so sad to see their innocence ripped away so young, even with like the sexualization of media and everything. Like everything is, trust me, as a kid, I wish I had the download speeds we had today to see the adult information. But as a kid, we had those dial-up speeds if we had anything. But I kind of feel like it's kind of perverted the world in such a way that children don't have a chance to really be children anymore, or at least not for as long as they used to. And even if they're kept away from some of that, their parents are so just entranced with the phone all the time. A lot of jobs require it. Like the kids don't get the attention that they need and that they deserve anymore. And that's the same to be said for us too. You sit down and have a conversation with somebody, and sometimes a couple of minutes in, like the phone goes up and they start doing something else, and like it just makes you feel like you're not as important. And for a child, I think that's really, really detrimental.
Has that ever translated for you, dealing with the social media
Mhm.
as a media figure? And those circumstances can get just as disturbing when you're out there. And, again, you're on multiple platforms. You've got your own website, dustinpari.com. But when you are dealing with that part of it, what is your philosophy on it? Do I address it? Do I ignore it? Because, we were taught when we were kids, ignore the bully.
Yeah.
Don't feed into it. How do you handle it from a personality standpoint?
I find that ignoring it is best if you can. I mute a ton of people. I don't go out of my way to block them or whatever because I believe in always leaving the light on. It's like if I put out good, positive messages for people, the people in the darkest places are the ones that need it the most. So unless you said something specifically hateful or threatening, I usually don't block anybody. I'll just mute them, and this way they still can see what I write, but I don't have to read the schlock that they throw at me afterwards. Um, and I will usually try to address something if I think there was something that was misinterpreted. Like the other day, and it's nice when somebody gives you the opportunity to do so, because a lot of people don't, because we live in our own little echo chamber and we see something somebody wrote that has nothing to do with us personally, but maybe we went through something today and we think this person knew about it somehow, and now we're going to attack them for it, which doesn't make any sense. But I wrote something recently. It was actually for a biblical reference, and I used the term synagogue of Satan. And this is when Christ at the time was referring to kind of like the fake Jews, so like the ones of the Jewish faith that weren't really practicing for the right reasons. And I had somebody of the Jewish faith write to me, and they're like, "Would you mind clarifying what you meant by this statement?" And so I just told them, because I understand there are also other people out there that use that term to be against all Jewish people, which obviously I am not. I'm a big fan of Jesus. He was a Jewish man, so I always keep that in mind. So it's nice when people give you the opportunity to have a back and forth, understandingly as adults, and having a conversation. So that was really nice. And if they just continue to just get angry and angry and angry, I just write, "I'll pray for you," and I put a little heart. And a lot of times that just pisses them off more, but that's their problem. I'm going to do what I feel is right. I'm not going to sit around and argue with people about stuff.
It's hard in today's climate, and again, for what Ken and I do on our Sunday shows, and for all of our other shows too, not going down that as content creators. Let's see how ugly we can be.
Mm.
and let's see how much we can stir up the dirt and the dust and get people involved. It's too much. It really is too much, but it's part of society today. So God bless you for staying above the fray
Well,
because
thank
it's
you, sir.
horrible.
I try. It's not easy, but we try.
It's exactly that. Uh, Fan of the Miami Dolphins.
Yes. 0-3.
How,
0-3 to start the season, but it doesn't mean it's the end of anything. And I've been a fan since '84. I'll never waver. They'll always be my team. And I've never had anything to celebrate. I think the last playoff win was in the '90s, and never won a Super Bowl since I've watched. Um, but I will always be a Miami Dolphins fan. And this year, this past week, we could have won. We could beat Buffalo. Never thought it was crazy, but like the defense, penalty after penalty, gave them the ball back. We were doing good. Um, I don't know if I don't think the season's over yet. I always hang in there. I stay optimistic until the numbers prove otherwise. But man, it'd be nice to maybe go on a winning streak from this point on. Would be really good, just once.
you ever been to a Patriots game playing the Dolphins and wore the Dolphin shirt? And how did that work out for you?
As a kid, my dad used to take me to the old Foxborough Stadium all the time, which at that time was basically a glorified high school stadium. There was no sides to it; it was just like those bleachers. And at that point, we had Marino and Duper and Clayton, and we were much better than Steve Grogan or Tony Eason and the Patriots. They used to have 2-12 or 2-14 records, whatever it was. Miami was good then, so it was great. I would go my face painted, but the God love the drunken, angry Boston fans. They would still scream and yell at me anyway, even though I was 8. Um, I did get to go to a Dolphins game versus the Patriots in Miami one time. It was when Ricky Williams just came back to the team, but I
Yeah,
was
I
there on
remember.
a bus. I was on a bus with all Patriot players, all Patriot fans rather, and the whole ride over, I was just getting destroyed. But the bus was real quiet on the way back when we pulled off the W, so that was a nice moment.
Yeah. I, but those were good times. Ricky Williams was incredible. I mean, we did have a good team in the
Yeah.
80s into the early 90s, and then just
And
ever
then it's
since.
just been, yeah, we've had some flashes of brilliance, and then just
Trading out a new coach every year, it seemed like, for the longest.
yeah, coaches and quarterbacks, and just it was rough. It was
Yeah.
really, but I don't know. I'm a big Waddle fan. He's my favorite player on the team. I just I think he's been my favorite player since Marino and Duper left. So I really enjoy watching him.
And a big fan of cars, racing.
Hmm. Yeah, I used to go to a lot of the big NASCAR races. I get to be friends with even my favorite driver at the time, Kurt Busch. He's since retired. A lot of changes in the rules, and a lot of the young guns came up. I don't watch Sunday racing as much as I used to, but I still go to the locals track on Saturday night when I'm in town, and just up in Seekonk, Massachusetts. I was there last night. There's only one more race left this season, and unfortunately, because I'm thankful to be on the road almost every weekend working. But between that and the garbage, rainy weather we get here in the Rhode Island, Mass area, I end up missing most of the races. But I think I've gone to 4 this year, so hopefully I can go to the one next week. It's one of my favorite things to go do. I love the smell of racing. I love the burning rubber and the oil and the fuel and the
Yeah.
track pizza, which is like cardboard but somehow still delicious. It's awesome.
The Daytona Speedway is about 40 minutes away from me down south. I don't know
Oh,
why you're not living in Florida. You love the Dolphins.
I need to.
You
I need
love
to get there.
NASCAR.
I was here because I had to get my daughter into college, and now she's started college. She's up in New Hampshire, so she's started college now. But with mom passing away a couple of years ago, now I take care of my father, who is in his late 70s. I mean, he's capable of doing things himself, but like he can't be alone. So I'm still here. My theory is that there's a giant pothole in the middle of Rhode Island, and it's like a goddamn vortex. It doesn't let you out. But I would love to be down there. I've been to Daytona twice before. I love Daytona.
Yeah, I think you've been
Great,
to St.
great place to see a
Augustine.
race.
Have you been to St. Augustine too a couple times, right?
Yeah, yeah. We've done the Lighthouse, for TV, off TV a bunch of times. The Ripley's Museum down there. I've never get to do the jail. I'd like to, but I need to get down to St. Augustine for the Christmas lights because I'm a boy that loves Christmas, and I heard that their Christmas light show is like
Festival of
amazing.
Lights is amazing. It is
I gotta get
amazing.
there for that.
You got to check that. Quick shout out for all of you that are watching tonight and listening in. want a big thank you for having our good friend Cody Ray Desbians handling everything in the background for us. Make sure you guys in chat say hello to Cody. Thank you, Cody, for helping tonight too. We're going to get some questions in before we get into the promotions and some of the upcoming events for you.
Yeah,
Definitely want to hear from some of the other people. You have a daughter in college.
I do. She just started this year, breaking my heart. It's very weird not having her around the house anymore. But yeah, you keep drinking that blood, you live forever. So
My
that's so good.
God.
By the way, don't let Cody fool you. He's no stranger to that tonic either. That magic elixir.
Well,
He
Cody's
keeps
only
getting taller.
17,
I've
right?
known the
He's
boy. I've known him.
17, 18.
I don't know how many years I've known him for now, but he has somehow grown taller than me, and I have not shrunk yet. So I don't know why he got like a late boost in life. I don't
There's
know
an
what's going
extra
on.
elixir in there we haven't found out about yet.
It must be.
Let's get to some of these questions here. Our good friend Dan St. Marie, also Patreon member.
Yeah.
What's your favorite little Debbie snack?
The little Debbie snacks are something special. I actually brought some of the brownie pumpkins with me to the track last night. But I'd have to say, if I could only pick one, I'm a big fan of the old school oatmeal cream pie. The single one, not the double decker you get at the gas station. It's just a regular single oatmeal cream pie. Reminds me of being a little kid. I love the oatmeal pie.
Old meal pie. I'm not really sure if I know that one.
Oh, it's great. It's just like two squished down discs of oatmeal. It's been processed a million times, and it's got a little bit of cream there. It's really nice. It's a sweet little treat.
And what was this all about?
What is that?
Dunkin' Donuts commercial?
Oh yes, yes. Well, I when I was working at the McCoy Stadium, the Pawtucket Red Sox minor league team, and I'd worked there for like 10 years, and that was my night job after working in healthcare during the day. And one night, I accidentally was going there, and it's a rough neighborhood, so I'd always lock my truck, even though I was just running inside to grab a coffee. And I came back out, and my damn keys were in the ignition of the truck. And it was an old truck. Like it still had like manual locks and stuff. So I had to call AAA, and while I was waiting for them to come fish the door open for me, I had posted a tweet and mentioned the good people at Dunkin' Donuts, and just I tried to keep it positive. I was like, locked myself out of my truck while stopping at Dunkin' Donuts, sitting in the back of my pickup, drinking my latte and smiling. And like 3 months later, I got contacted via email from their marketing campaign. I thought it was a scam. And they brought me up to Boston. They put a fancy little outfit on me. They even let me use my truck in the commercial. They filmed it at a Boston Dunkin' Donuts, which they shut down for the day, which pissed off a lot of people. But
Yes,
it was
see?
amazing. It was a great, great time. And Mystery Check showed up for like 3 years because they'd still be selling the commercial in some third world country somewhere, and I would get a little extra money. So that was nice.
In perpetuity. Not a bad deal by
Not
no
bad at
means.
all. I love my Dunkin'. Right now, I'm into the Slutty Pumpkin, which is my own creation. At least I called it the Slutty Pumpkin. It's just any type of coffee. I like the iced latte, but you do half pumps of pumpkin and the other half of caramel. It is a damn sweet treat. I had one today in my little morning cemetery walk, and I had a little pep in my step.
Cody, I know you're behind the scenes. Next chance you get when you're with Dustin, make sure he turns in his man card, if that would be.
Come on, man. There's no. It's a slutty pumpkin. Every guy should be so lucky.
Next question from our viewing audience. Jennifer Thomas, will you be in Middleborough soon?
Sadly, no, Jennifer. Oh, is this the same Jennifer whose mom works at the Seekonk Speedway? Because she asked me last night when I walked in if I was going to be at Middleborough. Middleborough is not on the cards this year. At least not now. I don't know if there's going to be a Christmas thing because I do Christmas lectures too. But there's a bunch in Massachusetts. You might have to travel outside of the old Middleborough, though.
Yeah, I can tell you this. If he's going to be anywhere, you can find out that Dustin will find a way to make it on the local news, doing whatever he needs to do to promote, and he'll wear whatever they tell him to.
Hey,
What,
that was a
tell us
great
about
little.
this.
I used to work at Channel 12 for many years, like seven, I
Really?
think. Yeah, I started as an intern, then I was a show editor, then I was a field camera operator, live truck, satellite truck, And I even filmed at the White House in the Rose Garden with President Bush. I get to do a lot of cool stuff with them, but I couldn't stand the doom and gloom nonsense anymore, so I left to work full time in healthcare shortly after 9/11, and I became an EMT, volunteer firefighter, all that stuff. But I stay in touch. I get a lot of good friends there. My buddy Will Gilbert on the morning show's like, "Hey, we're doing a Halloween thing. You want to come on?" I was like, "Absolutely." And then he's like, "We're gonna do costumes." I was like, "All right." So I decided to go with the Mad Hatter because I love a little Alice in Wonderland, and I love the Mad Hatter because I like to inject a little nonsense in my daily life. It makes me happier that way.
Definitely worthwhile to do something like that. And again, keeping in the public eye, it's an important part. So people will recognize you and
Yeah.
remember you too. Joseph Freza, next question that comes up there is, can you tell us some funny behind the scenes stories of the paranormal? I would imagine either on or off the show.
Oh yeah, sure. There's always a bunch of stuff. Well, because you end up traveling together for so many years, like you end up being like family, and so there's a lot of opportunity to screw with each other and mess around all the time. I remember once on the international show on GHI, they used to put
Oh,
us up. Um, we would stay in the hotel that we were, like we were investigating. Sometimes we'd stay there for like 2 weeks. So you'd investigate the hotel 1 week, and then the next week you're still staying there, but you're investigating a castle or whatever the heck it was. And there's one time that myself and another one of the cast members took Miss Brandy Green's bed, and while she was out doing something, we just took the bed completely out of the room and moved it somewhere else in the hotel. So there's stuff like that. There was another time where the thermal camera we had to use, and they wanted us to investigate with a dog, and I was kind of here nor there on it because I don't know how to interpret what the dog is feeling, and I'm like filming this damn dog with a thermal camera, and he doesn't like the dark, little spots in the basement because there's mold and nonsense. I'm like, I don't like it either, and so we get out of there and talking to the producer and telling him what happened while we were investigating, and I was still filming the dog, and the dog was on his own at this point, and his name was Bobo. He was in the Czech Republic, and he went out and he urinated all over the DVR cables, and you could see it while he was lifting his little leg. It looked like a stream of Skittles because it was temperature change as it was coming out, and he was peeing all over the damn cables. But then we had the conundrum of, well, who's going to wrap up the cables? Like, Barry and myself knew we didn't want to do it because we were holding the camera, and Rob was there, and so we let fate decide. And unfortunately, it was once again Miss Brandy Green, who always seemed to be the butt of such things. And but I decided not to tell her. I'm like, nobody say anything, because we started to do that stupid scene that looks like the Last Supper, where we all sit there together and look at the evidence, even though we've already looked at it separately in our rooms. But I slid the tape in of the thermal camera when we're all sitting there, and she looks up and she goes, "Is that why those cables were all wet?" I just couldn't help it. Like, I'm so sorry. Somebody had to roll them up, and I wasn't touching the dog urine. So, but yeah,
uh,
lots of stuff. Lots of stuff.
that clip didn't make it to the show, though, did it?
No, no, that definitely did not. Most of that stuff they censor most of the things I do because I'm very inappropriate with my humor. So a lot of stuff, both domestic and foreign, was cutting room floor material. So
Yeah, a little side story. Way back when we were doing. This is your first time with Dead Air, right? Being on.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did it with the Blog Talk Radio years and years and years ago, and I remember Zaffis coming on one of the few times right after Haunted Collector was done, and he talked about the fact that they would not let him joke around, have any fun,
Yeah.
crack a joke. It was taboo. They wanted it serious and scary, and they had to stay
Mhm.
with that. So I can perfectly understand what it is that you had to contend with. Also, the restrictions.
Yeah,
Um,
it's unfortunate too because it really kind of, I mean, we all have different facets to our personality, but they kind of dry people out, like for the longest time, like with Jay, he always had to be like the hard ass boss, like they didn't show his funny side.
yeah,
And like Steve can be very caring and nurturing, and all they did is make him look like afraid of everything all the time. Like it took a while to allow us to evolve, I think, to just be ourselves. I think we had a little bit of a one up versus some of the other shows just because Jay and Grant at the time had some producer control. So we didn't have to act afraid. We didn't have to make things scary. We could just be ourselves.
right.
However, they'd still edit it the way they wanted to edit the show. So they just use certain facets of our personalities more than others.
Yeah, it seemed the only comedy they would ever throw in is just before going to break, Steve with a jump scare, and it's a spider afterwards, and that was
Yeah.
the closest they would do to comedy on there.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's about it. And you get bored of that after a while. It's always the same thing.
Redundant, yeah, exactly. Question here from Carolyn G. Bernard: is a new book coming soon? And boy, do you have them.
It should already be out. I've got two. I've got two that I started many, many moons ago. And I used to write a lot when I traveled. And then I got hooked in playing Pokemon. And so now when I'm stuck in the airports for hours on end, instead of writing, I'm walking around playing Pokemon Go. So it's my own damn fault. And I realized it actually just this last trip because I ended up like 14 hours of travel in one day. I was like, I could have written so much today. Instead, I played Pokemon all day. So I'm going to make a more conscious effort to finish these two books because one of them is going to be my first fully fiction book, which is kind of like a weird rabbit hole adventure. It's kind of like Alice in Wonderland, a little bit like Wizard of Oz, a little bit motivational, a little bit strange, but I'm really enjoying that. And the other one that I started to write is just a straight motivational book, which is also something I've never done. So I've got two in the hopper, and hopefully next year we'll get both of them out.
Dustin, it seems looking at your whole ensemble of work that's on screen right now, that
Yeah.
what you put pen to paper about is whatever you're feeling at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not one to write ghost stories per se. Like My Home is Haunted Now What and The Complete Approach, which I both co-authored with Barry, were kind of like how-to books. We did share stories that related to the techniques or to the ideology that we were tying these things to. We wanted to take, a metaphysical and scientific understanding of approaching the field at the time, and then we also took stories from the various countries that we were in and put them all together. But then after that, I was like, I kind of just want to write what I feel. So What's Next was my first book. I wrote that one only on planes. And it was kind of behind the scenes of Ghost Hunters and Ghost Hunters International, where I was kind of like, I'm happy to be here, but I feel like there's more for me in this world, and I need to find what's next for my own life. So you get a little bit of my like wanderlust and travel logs, along with behind the scenes stuff from my life and from the show. And The Devil Shivered, I ended up writing every day for a year, and that ended up being the last season of Ghost Hunters proper with all the old cast together. I didn't know it was happening at the time. I get so tired of people telling me how easy my life was because I was on TV. The front cover of that book is my hands on the wheel of my old truck Angelina, '99 Mazda, that I drove into the ground at like 280,000 miles. But I used to sleep in that truck a lot because I would have to get out of work, drive to where we were filming, film till like 2, 3 in the morning, and then I wouldn't have enough time to go to the hotel. I had to start to head
Oh,
back to my day job,
oh my
and
God.
sometimes I would just drive till I was exhausted, sleep for an hour, get up, finish the drive, and then go film the next night. So that I wrote every day for a year, so people really get to see what it was like, really behind the curtain. And then the last book I wrote was Kaleidoscope: Fragments of My Life, and that is one of my favorite books. It's just got just an appetizer of different stories, things that I saw in different countries, not paranormal things, but just I'd sit outside like an old store in Africa, back in the woods, and just catalog kind of what I was seeing, and just write like funny little stories, motivational stories about that. There's a smattering of poetry in there, and there's a little bit of everything. And I just wanted people to get a better, kind of feeling of who I am when I wrote that one.
And I thought this was amazing. Coloring books.
Oh yeah, my spooky pages coloring books. My God, I love making these dang things. It started with the shark book. My mom, unfortunately, had taken seriously ill. She was sick for like 8 years, but then it was like we're moving into hospice territory, and so I stayed up every night at the house making sure she was okay. And it was during Shark Week time, and so I was like, man, I love sharks. So I started making this like shark coloring book, and then I just started branching out in there, and so I thought maybe I'll make an old school like Halloween coloring book. And I couldn't decide which haunted house I liked, so I kept making more. And so I just did a whole book of haunted houses. I did a whole book of zombies, a whole book of goblins. There's one of voodoo dolls, which seems to be one of the favorites. The Crypto Kids, which is like what did Mothman look like when he was a little Mothman, or Bigfoot when he was just a little foot. And so I did some fun stuff with that. Maybe a couple of Christmas books we put together, and then even some motivational books in terms of mental health. We have Coloring is Mental 1 and 2, which I took keywords for how people deal with depression, bipolar, anxiety, all these things, and created images that represent those feelings. And I'm very thankful to say there have been a lot of psychologists that have reached out to me that are using those books in their therapy treatments, and they just give them to their
Wow.
patients. Which one appeals to you? And they find a picture that makes it's a visual representation of how they feel inside, and they'll start to color it, and they open up and they talk about what they're going through. So I'm very thankful to be a part of that.
I am grateful for you to be a part of that also. I would like you to tell everybody where they can get all these books.
Thanks, George. Everything is on Amazon, but because Amazon's kind of a wasteland these days and there's like knockoffs of everything, DustinPari.com is your best place. There's a little slash book section, and you'll see all the books listed on there. Both the written books and the coloring books are all on there. And if you're going to come to any of the events coming up, I usually bring them with me too. So, but yeah, the best selection is available at on my website.
Yeah, I want to get to your upcoming events. I know we've only got you for an hour tonight. I apologize to the audience. He's a very busy man. Uh, but
We can go a little over, George. I'm not that much of a stickler. We'll be okay.
okay, you let me know. Okay, Liz Hassan's question for you, Dustin. Have you ever seen Chip Coffey's scarf collection in person?
No, I haven't. I've seen the variety of him, like when he's traveling. We've Lord knows we've done enough conventions together that I've seen them. But I can't imagine what it's actually like in his house. I mean, there's gonna be like a whole closet of just scarves. Like I have one closet here in my office. It's just flannels. So I imagine it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be wondrous.
He's another unicorn. We had him on Blog Talk back in the day on Dead Air so many times, and then just trying to get him on board again. But again, it's his life has changed over the last decade or so. So it's if it happens, it happens, but not a big deal on it. Sky O'Malley, Florida next year.
Let's hope so. Let's
What's
hope
this
so,
all
Sky.
about?
I mean, I get to go. Was it this year? We did Robert the Doll Fest down in Key West, and I am so in love with Key West. Like it's ridiculous. I have a Key West shirt just off camera here to my right. I love it there so much. There you can go to Kermit's and have key lime pie. I get to investigate the fort, hang out with Robert the Enchanted Doll, and I
Yep.
really enjoyed that. I love Robert. I had such a wonderful time. I want to go back to Key West, listen to Jimmy Buffett, drink rum, and not give a goddamn about what's going to happen tomorrow.
Do the Duval crawl.
I've never done it. I would love to.
It's a scary endeavor. I've done it. I
I,
lived there for about a year and a half,
Oh wow! I
and
stopped at
that's
several. I went to the Green Parrot. I went to
yep.
Captain. I can't remember the other guy's name now. Captain with the two-sided urinal. We went to a bunch of places for sure, but I didn't have enough time to really make the full crawl done.
Sloppy Joe's, all that. Yeah,
Yeah, yep. Sloppy Joe's was awesome. I actually had lunch there one day. It was great.
yeah. It's an experience. Key West certainly. Plus, its haunted history is just amazing.
Mhm.
Sandy Andrews wants to know what is your fondest investigation memory. There must be a lot.
There's a lot of great ones. My favorite is going to have to be, for a personal reason, St. Augustine Lighthouse. Seeing the apparition of a woman there. That is the first full
Yeah.
body app.
Oh, there we are. You're back. Somebody. Oh, click again. We'll wait for him to come back here in just a second. Uh, yeah, and we got him back. Go ahead.
There we are.
Touch
No,
a button.
St. Augustine Lighthouse is going to be one of my personal favorites just because that's the first time I'd seen a full body apparition. When I was a kid, I had seen a shadow figure. That's what got me started. But all the places I went, I'd never seen anything else until then. So that was special for me. But the most important one was in the Philippines. We did a place called the Clark Air Base, and this was an outpost for our soldiers during the wars. And the hospital ended up closing down. They were going to make it into something else, I think a mall. But then there was a volcanic eruption. The place went into disrepair, and our client was this now elderly man, Filipino man, and he told us all about the things he'd seen there. This white misty apparition. He would hear footsteps. He would hear American soldiers talking in English, and everybody he told these stories to said he was a drunk, that he was making things up, that he was a liar. And enough people tell you this stuff, you start to question it without anybody else there to help prove it. And when we encountered these things and we played him the evidence, this guy just broke down in tears to the point that we had to
Validation.
stop filming. Yeah, he just had that moment, and it just was so nice to bring him that understanding and to give him that evidence, that little bit of validation that he needed, because he knew what he saw, But year after year, people telling you that it wasn't true, it takes a toll, and I think it took a toll on his character, and so it was very nice to bring him that understanding.
Finally, Bendy Magic with a question for you in regards to your books. Any new spooky pages, coloring books coming out, especially before Halloween? How about a Haunted Houses 2?
Haunted houses too. I don't know. I mean, that could be something we could do. It could be possible. I was starting to mess around with one about dragons because I just like dragons. It's not really, a paranormal book per se, but I do have some files for that one. But yeah, I still got some time. I was tossing around. Maybe you guys can weigh in. Classic monsters like Creature from the Black Lagoon, a nice
Yes.
proper Wolfman, some vampires, Frankenstein's monster, the Mummy. I think the time is right for a classic monsters book.
Yeah. Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney,
Oh yeah.
the legends on
Go
there.
see the real ones, man. Absolutely. I did something on my Patreon this last week for my subscribers there, of which several people here are members. Thank you for that. And I just did a write up on lichens, like the history of werewolves, because I just love werewolves so much. So yeah, maybe we'll do a classic monster book next. I was working on the dragon book, but then I got hired by our local Renaissance fair in Massachusetts. They have King Richard's Fair, and they hired me to do books for adults and for kids. So I did Renaissance Fair books for them. So I was excited to be a part of that.
I think that there's got to be some part of you that would be itching for the opportunity to head down to Orlando and go to a Halloween Horror Nights. I don't know if you've ever been,
I
or
have
the
not.
opportunity to go to the Harry Potter section or the Star Wars section
Mhm.
in Universal Studios. Those are all great examples of a
Yeah.
fun time.
I would love to do that. I was always a big Disney guy. I went to Disney a bunch of times when the little one was still little. Well, we did get to do Harry Potter one year, and go on the rides and stuff. I've done the Disney Boo to You Halloween stuff, but I've never done the Universal Horror Nights. This year, I know they even have some WWE stuff involved there, and I'm a big wrestling guy, so I would love to check that out.
Full Sail,
But
yeah.
yeah, yeah, I would love to go to Full Sail and see a
AJ
show.
Lee is back. Can you believe it?
I know, it's amazing. You never say never in this world, man.
No, no. Got to pay the bills.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Before we get to your upcoming events, and again, I want to thank you, Dustin, for taking the time tonight again on your busy schedule. I greatly appreciate it. I know Ken does also, and Cody's still in the background there with us. I appreciate you helping us out, Cody. Let's talk paranormal topic for a second and the current events that are going on. And I would love to hear your perspective on both the Conjuring House being up for sale again at an astronomical price
Ah,
and
yes.
the Warren Museum also being sold at an astronomical price.
Hmm.
And what's up for grabs and who's up for grabs as far as this is concerned? Your thoughts?
Listen, I feel like there's an ask for every seat, and if people want and people have the money to purchase these things or to go to these things, more power to them.
Right.
The only time I get a little turned off is when people purchase these things and do like macabre things with them. As a paranormal researcher, as a spiritual researcher, there's a very fine line between what we do in paranormal research and celebrating death and celebrating the macabre. Death comes for all of us. I don't think there's anything to be afraid of. I do death positive lectures. Outside of wanting to be here for my family and my friends, I have no concern about what happens afterwards. So it's not so much that, but a lot of these places that we investigate, people died horrific ways.
Yes.
Some people died by suicide. Some things very sad and tragic. Axe murders. And then we go there and we're like, oh, let's put like a bloody, axe murder corpse out here and let's, do this. And you can take a selfie for this amount of money with it. I'm like, I'm just not into that, you know? Um, I think if any of these places are purchased by people that want to do something right with them, leave them, accessible to the public. I know some people were complaining, and listen, you can say whatever you want. That's completely fine. We can have a discussion about things. I love the Dolphins. We never win a football game. It doesn't mean that I hate you because, you like the Chiefs and they win a lot. It's fine. We can like different things. We can believe different things. But some people were saying, I don't think the Warrens house should allow any investigations. People are going to be asking for Ed and Lorraine. I've been with John on so many cases over the years. I remember the first time Ed came through on his Echovox, and it was just him and I messing around with it for the first time, trying to figure out how to use it. He's like, "Duster, that's my uncle," and he was excited. And now when Ed comes through, he's like, "God damn it, Ed, I'm trying to do something," Um, so the idea, and listen, we can, again, you can all believe your own thing. We don't have to sing from the same hymnal, but the idea that people have that people are trapped or anchored to a location, just because I'm living in this house now doesn't mean when 50 years or whatever, when I'm passed away, that my spirit's going to still be in here answering questions if someone does an EVP session. So I don't think that Ed and Lorraine are anywhere trapped in that house or forever attached to it. However, it could be like so many other places where it's like a touch point, where it's a place where you spend a lot of time, a lot of your energy signatures there. So maybe, yeah, if somebody's asking for you, you might be there. But you also don't have to answer. It's not like someone's summoning you to be there. So if people want to do investigations there and people want to pay whatever the price is to do investigations there, then so be it. I just don't want people celebrating death of people that were murdered or celebrating someone who died by suicide. That's my line, which in this case is not the case. I don't have the money to even buy like a pebble from the driveway at either of these locations. But I feel if the right people get it and they do the right thing with it, I wish them all the best, and I hope that some of these places will still have access to the public because they are great spiritual places. I've never been to Ed and Lorraine's house. I've only met Lorraine once when she was still alive. I never met Ed. Conjuring House, the old farmhouse, I've done numerous events there, been there on investigations for TV, done stuff there off TV. I love the woods. I like hanging out in the woods out back. I find that to be the most spiritual spot for me. But yeah, I have no problem with it. People get the money for it and they think it's worth that and they want to pay it. That's fine. Just don't turn it into a macabre sideshow. That's the only thing. And I think that both those locations really don't lend to that, where other places like the Valeska Axe Murder House or the Lizzie Borden House kind of automatically put that out there.
Yeah.
And then it's up to the owners to do the right thing with it. So I hope whoever purchases these places, that they do the right thing with it. And yeah, I think that's all we can ask for.
Well spoken. Well spoken. Let's get down to what's coming up, both for the Halloween month and for future dates. Also, you guys don't know what to expect when you get a chance to encounter dust. It may be one of these things. You never know. You got to.
You never know. Yeah, that's my Hey Get 'em in It series, which Cody was still in the background there. We still have a whole season of that we haven't edited, that
Filmed in
we're
his
filmed.
basement, I understand, correct?
Yeah, filmed in his basement. God bless him. Put up with me doing all this crap there. He draws all the pictures on the whiteboards in the back. He runs all the cameras, and he puts the edit together. And then we sit there and upload it and drink beers and have a great time. But yeah, we do have a whole nother season that we filmed that's somewhere in a hard drive, and they're still out there. That's a nice thing. Like YouTube still has them. Sometimes I get a random message. Somebody watches one of them. And it's kind of, I guess, evolved now to the Coming at You Live thing where I just do instantaneous videos every night, but I don't get to dress up like Dr. Batman or do all the crazy science lab stuff. Like, it was fun. It was really fun. I wanted it to be like a goofy little kid show that tried to make people a little happier about their lives and try to inspire them a little bit. So I still have all the costumes. They're all in a box downstairs.
I had to edit out "Eye of the Tiger" here you were singing, but this is
Yes.
all available on DustinPari.com. You guys can definitely check it out. Let's get down to business here, and it is event time.
Ah, yes.
Tell us
It's
about
season.
your very slow, uneventful October.
Oh man, I think we still got like 27 things to go before the end of the year, and I'm very thankful for it.
And I've got
Lots.
the updated one here if you need me to bring anything up, but
There you go.
these
Yeah,
are
we got
great banners.
lots of area events. Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, in terms of library lectures, and those are nice. Those are free to attend, but you have to register for most of them. So the links are all on my website. I updated all the links today. Some only have like 5 or 6 seats left, so you have to register even when they're free. I'm going to be hanging out with my buddy Jeff Belanger together at the one up in Mendon. That'll be fun. We're doing a double header. It's the only time we're teaming up this year. I'm going to be back at Scarefest this year. I'm in Kalamazoo, Michigan for like two haunted house events for the little kids, which is fun. Then I'm doing an adult lecture. Then we'll be flying down to Scarefest in Kentucky. And I'm going to be investigating with my good friend Annabelle, who I've never met, but I trust we're going to catch on to each other really quick. So that'll be cool. Spirit Quest events are my favorite thing that I do because they combine the paranormal with our own spiritual beings. I always tell people that we are spirits going through a human experience. We are not from here. We do not stay here. And that is why the turtle is the logo of all those Spirit Quest events. It's because the spirit understanding of a turtle in some Native American cultures is that the turtle itself is a living creature connecting the afterlife, the heavens above, the top of the shell, with the bottom of the shell, which is the earth. So that's the connection. So I've got one ticket left for Spirit Quest in New Jersey,
That's
and
right.
then I've got a couple left for the one in Indiana at the Old Roads Hotel. But yeah, we're going to be busy pretty much every night. We're somewhere. So if you're in the New England area, if you're in Jersey, Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan, I'm coming to all these places like in the next 30 days. So it's going to be pretty nuts.
And
But
just a
I look forward to it.
few upcoming events in 2026, and these all look amazing.
Oh yeah, we're going to be going back to the North Carolina, USS North Carolina, for Booze on the Battleship. Really looking forward to that. Cripple Creek. Some of my friends I get to work with when I was in Ireland last year. These three young ladies put together this wonderful event up in Cripple Creek. I'll be there with Amy and Adam. I think Becky Gallantine's there. A bunch of really cool people. So we're gonna have a good time. And I get to go. I get to go sailing. Sailing, take me away. I guess it's not really sailing. It's a powerboat of sorts. But we're going to be in France with my good buddy Brian J. Cano and the lovely and talented Mr. Grant Wilson and his wife Rihanna. We're going out there for like 10 days or something, or 12 days. I don't know. We're in Paris for like 3 days, and we're on a riverboat cruise for like 10 days. So that's going to be cool. I think most of the upper level cabins are sold out. I think there's only like 30% left. But really enjoyed being with them this past year. So looking forward to all that. Yeah, we did Ireland this year, and we're doing France next year. That's how it goes. Math.
And if you go to Dustin Pari on Facebook, all the information is right there. So you guys, if you're interested in any of these events, that's the place to get to. And I think you also have them listed on dustinperry.com, correct?
Yep, everything's there. It's a full event page, fully up to date, and we're going to be adding some as early as tomorrow, and maybe two by next week. So yeah, we stay busy, but we got a lot of lectures to choose from. I talked about the haunted history of Halloween, or some of the behind the scenes stuff that people think is paranormal but really isn't. And like I said, Spirit Quest is my favorite dang thing I get to do. We only got one ticket left for that down in Jersey. That'll be fun. Legends, Lore, and Something More is the newest lecture. So that kind of takes a look at things like Bloody Mary and some of those behind the, those things from when we were little kids that creeped us out. So that'll be cool. And yeah, we stay busy, man.
Which are all true, by the way.
All true, yes, indeed. Bloody Mary. But
Uh,
it's that illusion or that hope of scary fear. Like at first you think, oh, this is BS. Like there's nothing's gonna happen. So you say Bloody Mary the first time, all like full of bravado. Bloody Mary second time, but then there's that little bit of hesitation before the third one because you're like, well, what if something does happen this time?
the superstitions do linger. And again, it starts from childhood, and you just never let it go, ever.
No, no, it's wonderful. But you know what, George? Like, I don't want to live in a world without that possibility, without that magic. I don't want it to be just, I get up, I sit on 95, I drive, in traffic all day, I go to a job that is okay. When I'm done, I punch the clock, and then I sit back in traffic. Hopefully, made enough money to pay bills and buy mozzarella sticks, and then we do it again tomorrow. Like I need Bloody Mary. I need Loch Ness monster. I need ghosts. I need something to tell me that there's more than just this.
There is literally a psychological affliction called Groundhog Day syndrome. And it's just doing the same thing day in and day out, which just it can create so many different negative emotions out there. So finding that outlet in what it is that you're doing is a big important part of keeping your sanity and keeping things fresh also. Um,
Sure.
Dustin, I can't thank you enough for joining us tonight. I wish that Ken had been here. I'm sure he would have had a dozen more questions at least.
That's all right.
But greatly appreciate you taking the time and doing this. Love to have you back, maybe after some of your trips, maybe after Paris, and
Yeah,
catch
that'd be
up with you at
great.
that point in time, sometime in the future.
Sounds good, George. I appreciate the opportunity. Tell Mr. DaCosta I said hello. And Cody Ray, thanks for your help as always, brother.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it, ladies and gentlemen. Short show tonight because of that, because Dustin has to be on his way. And but Dustin, don't hang up just yet. We'll be back with you guys tomorrow night on our Patreon page. If you guys have not subscribed yet, that's a Patreon/Dead Air Paranormal. And of course, Dustin Pari's Patreon page. We put it on the bottom screen for the longest time. Make sure you guys do check it out. Town Hall tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Make sure that you guys check us out. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care of yourself. See you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's feeling me, turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets the best of me. Oh gosh, she's such a tease, bitten lips.